Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do was explain to you the different types of page builders available in WordPress. So the default WordPress editor that opens when you launch WordPress today is called the Gutenberg editor, and it's a block editor, which means that each section stacks the top of the next or the last in a block, and the block can be rearranged. And sometimes you can take the blocks and subdivide them as well. So what I want to do is show you the original or classic um, page editor for Gutenberg. I mean for WordPress, and then later on we'll look at some advanced page builders. Okay. So here I am in my site, and we're going to go to pages, and let's go to all pages. Let's go to a page that we haven't worked with yet. Let's go to documents and click edit. Okay. And of course, if I click in the upper left-hand corner, I have my block editor. Now, what you'll see here under text is that there's something called classic. And if I click that, it drops in the classic editor. So this is the editor that I first used when I worked with WordPress. And we're going to click here and give it 2 lines. So you just have the ability to create headings and paragraphs. Let's do a heading. This is the documents page, right? And then we're going to take that and we're going to set that as a heading. Right, there we go. I'm going to hit enter. And let's do a H2 tag and say, welcome to this page. All right, I'm gonna hit enter again. And let's do an let's see, what do we do here? We did an H2 and a heading 1. Let's do an H3. You should have at least 2 headings. There is lots of good information. Info, the tab on this page. So everything's kind of like in this kitchen sink kind of thing, right? Everything's inside of this little editor. And so I can bold just like with, and I can italicize, and I can make bulleted lists. Let's say fruit, apples, uh, oranges, kiwi. And then I can have a bulleted list, or I can select that and turn it into a numbered list. I can do block quotes. So you do everything all inside of this one little editor here, right? Want a block quote. Right? And I can change the paragraph to, let's write a sentence, but I can do a paragraph. Let's take it out of, and I can left, center, or right justify. I can create hyperlinks just like before. Click, go to page, go to the contact page. And once again, I can make an internal or external link. Right, select that text, click the insert link button, type in the URL, contact us, hit the apply, then hit enter, oops, and click away, and there's my link. Okay. I can insert a read more. I can add media just like before. Right, and then I can select the media, left, right, and center, justify. So the whole idea with this is that everything it was very simplistic. It was really hard to do anything very sophisticated with this classic editor. I click save, and you'll see this is how it loads it. Now, in addition to that, let's go back. Let's save what we have, and let's go back to plugins and go to installed plugins, and let's go to add plugins. So I can also load the classic editor and overwrite the Gutenberg editor altogether. Here we're using the classic editor inside of the Gutenberg, but I can also type classic editor. And so for a long time, I wasn't comfortable with the Gutenberg editor. So I would rely on the classic editor, and I would install the classic editor and uninstall the Gutenberg editor. You can actually move back and forth between the two. Sometimes some of the things that you'll do when you work with the Gutenberg editor will change if you use the classic editor. So you want to decide early on if you want to make this change, or be aware of the fact that as you work, there will be times when you will have to redo things. So you'll see that there is a disabled Gutenberg, right? There's the classic editor plus, and then there's the classic editor. We're just going to click and install that classic editor. So this is a plugin which is going to change the makeup, and then click activate. And so now we've created a plugin. We've installed a plugin called the classic editor. Let's go to pages. Let's go to all pages. Let's go to another page. Let's go to history. We haven't worked on yet. Yeah, let's go to history. And now you'll see that I only have I only have the classic editor. I do not have the Gutenberg editor. Now, if you get used to using the Gutenberg editor, I recommend that you do, because it is much more sophisticated and much more powerful than the classic editor. But if you're struggling and you just want to get something thrown together really quick and you don't feel comfortable with the Gutenberg, throw up the classic editor. But if you get used to working with that Gutenberg editor with the blocks, there's all these different combinations of very powerful, useful tools in that Gutenberg editor. You'll be able to build much more sophisticated layouts and designs. Okay, so let's go back to plugins, and we're going to deactivate that plugin. And when you deactivate a plugin, it stops being used. One of the things that you want to be aware of is that you don't want to have a bunch of plugins that are sitting there that are not being used. All right, so if you're sure that you're not going to use it anymore, it's always wiser to delete it. And the reason why is because every application or plugin that you install into WordPress opens up the potential for some sort of danger, some sort of attack, right? But let's go back to pages, go to all pages. Let's go to About Us. And once again, we have the Gutenberg editor again. Okay, so the original editor was that classic editor. It's very straightforward, very simple, easy to use. The Gutenberg editor is a much more sophisticated editor. And then there are editors that are even more sophisticated than that. But that Gutenberg editor is a good start. And then you also can fall back to the classic editor by using it inside of the Gutenberg editor or overwriting the Gutenberg editor with the classic editor. Now let's stop there.